One man on Reddit is apparently facing a bit of a dilemma when it comes to the future of his relationship and the obstacle between him and his girlfriend, and it centers on her finances. He shared his story on Reddit, and here is a bit of that. He says, I've been in a relationship for nearly 3 years. I'm 31, my partner is 25. I've recently started to look at where things are going for us if we take the next step, and I started to get a little fearful. I have absolutely no debt, car is paid off, and make $85,000 a year, medical field, with an emergency fund and about $25K in investments. I have worked extremely hard to get to the position I am in so I can eventually provide for a family and chase financial dreams like owning rental properties, etc. Very specific. But there is a problem. His girlfriend has $220,000 in student loan debt and $2,000 in credit card debt. She's currently in school and expects to make $75K a year and pay $2,500 a month in loans for a decade after she graduates. So all that being true, according to him, he says, I truly love this girl. She has so many qualities I never thought I would find in a partner, but this debt is something that I feel will really hinder the quality of my life due to the fact that with those monthly payments, she basically won't be able to save any money at all for 10 years. He adds, I should note that I'm a specialist in my field, medical, and should see my income increase over the next few years to around 110K to 125K. And there was a bit of a split in terms of the comments about what he should do, but there were many who felt like this is a good reason to leave your partner. You might like them, you might have a good relationship, but that is simply too big of a barrier. You should cut the rope. What do you both think?
Okay, I'm super curious what Jessica thinks. I'm also super curious what you guys think, because I'm old school on this, and so I really wonder how different our opinions might be. Anyways, that's why we're doing a poll. Whenever we're not sure, we do the poll. Should you base your decision of marriage on how much debt your partner has? Yes or no? tyt.com/polls. We'll always put the polls and petitions in the description box below. If you're watching later on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you click that. It's super easy. Okay, now, my opinion is, wow. First, let's note that we're in late stage capitalism when people are making decisions based on how much debt they've accrued under corporate rule. But in terms of should they, no, the old school way of thinking is, no, that's outrageous. You should, if you like your partner and you love your partner and you guys get along great, you'll work it out together. Really? You're gonna dump someone because they have student debt? I'm actually stunned by that.
Yeah, I agree with Jake. I am also stunned by it. Can you imagine this origin story getting broken up with this way? I love you, but I really want to be a landlord. She's gonna be an unstoppable organizer. I cannot imagine what she would do next. But it's sad that economic hardship is such a strain on love and relationships in our society. It's definitely late stage capitalism, and it's just sad. But if material conditions are determining the relationship, did you really love them in the first place? Maybe not. I think what we're experiencing here is very few people do real love anymore. A lot of people that I meet are caught up in the idea of being in a thing, getting into a relationship. A lot of people are in relationships and then they post it all on social media, and then you talk to them in person and they're terribly unhappy. In Sweden, there's really interesting research about people getting married at lower rates when they remove the tax benefit of getting married. And so I think it's a problem that love is dying, and I'm gonna blame capitalism.
Exactly. Yeah, think about it. Brandon had a chance to save love in America, but what is $10,000 gonna do for this woman? Maybe 20K. I don't know if she's got Pell Grants. I'll have to search on Reddit. But yeah, for someone like that, it doesn't seem like that much relief. I think that if you were to poll people honestly, not have them self-report, but actually tap into their brain, and I'm in favor of the government doing that, then I think a lot of people would actually heavily consider this. But I would say for at least a couple of reasons, it isn't necessarily wise, partially because like you're planning for your rental properties. Have you looked at the world around us? How much longer do you think this thing is gonna go? Just pick someone you like hanging out with and ride out the last couple of years until we're all searching for like spooled copper wire and water and halves of old discarded protein bars. Like the debt's not gonna count for anything when civilization falls, so you've got that to look forward to. But also, like it is a financial obstacle, it is. but you're almost certainly gonna face those anyway. Like, think about how common medical bankruptcy is. We're all just a couple more years of Jack in the Box from $200,000 in medical debt. You at least have the comfort of already knowing what the major financial albatross around your neck is, instead of, I don't know, like going underwater on your rental property or whatever. I think it's a safe bet if you actually like this person, that is rare enough, that's valuable. It might even be worth a couple $100,000.
I like what John points out here. Don't you want someone to love while the world is smoldering around us? It's so romantic. But it's interesting, Jake and I both say like, it's old school to believe in real love and forget about the material conditions of the relationship. If you really love them, be with them. But actually, is that a new thing? Because I know that for many, many years, marriage was an economic arrangement, right? There are a lot of arranged marriages. It's super traditional. And the nuclear family structure was definitely something that was pushed for the benefit of work structures and capitalism. So maybe love is the future, actually.
Okay, first of all, I like that John is being called smoldering in some weird way that he started. Okay,
and it's now because I'm gonna put it on my Twitter bio.
In fact, one of our members on Twitch, Cody the Epilepsy Dragon, wrote in, is it just me or is Johnny Pie being seductive by having an extra button undone?
Is it? No, this is.
People want to know, John.
I have to fact check you. This is not an extra button. This would be an extra, but no, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. We don't have time. We don't have time for you to process what you'd see.
Don't do it, brother. Don't do it. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it.
I don't want to make you do it.
Don't make me. Okay, so, but last thing, guys. Look, I know that money matters. Of course, we all know that money matters, and it's at the very least in the back of our minds, and we think about it subconsciously. That's why when you have the tax incentives, it does move the numbers. It sucks that it moves the numbers, but it does, right? I think what I was surprised by was how cold the guy was. Like, he's like, I did the math on it and I put it on a spreadsheet. I put a pin in it, I circled back to it later and realized the numbers just aren't matching up here, so I've got to let her go, right? And then, okay, so that's one dude, right? But the crowd reaction of like, dump her, right? Because she has too much debt, as if it was her fault. That's what I was surprised by. And I hope that's not a phenomenon that's catching on. And if it is, I think it's probably a sad indictment of our current society.
I agree, although let's not be too hard on the guy. Like, he at least required her to pass $200,000 in debt before he's ready to cut loose. Leonardo DiCaprio, like, once you're aged enough that you can rent a car, that's all it takes. No debt necessary. Even if you could afford the car, you're gone.
Yep.
Anyway.
Will Dark Brandon save love and keep his campaign promise of canceling student loan debt? Stay tuned. We'll see.
Oh my God, you're right. Joe Biden could save this marriage. Joe, you gotta do it now. Cancel all the debt. Let her go. By the way, if that became a national story about whether these guys were gonna get married or not, it would totally affect the country in whether they wanted to cancel all student debt or not. People are funny creatures. We should almost try.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.